Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the University of Leicester. My name's Dan Flatt and I'm the Head of UK Student Recruitment and Widening Access here at the University of Leicester. I myself was a student at the university. I studied here 18 years ago and I am still here today. Had the best time ever and made my life here. Today, we're delighted you can join us. We've got our main purpose of today is to make sure that you're feeling prepared and ready for the University of Leicester. Make sure you're excited. And also knowing what you should be expecting when it comes to September and your arrival here at the University of Leicester. We want to make sure that you're feeling reassured ahead of results day and to make sure that you're feeling okay ahead of that. To help reassure you and give you a bit of an insight on what life is like here at the University of Leicester, I'm delighted to be joined by three of our amazing students. So I'll introduce them all one by one. We've got Jesse.
So, hi, my name's Jesse. I study computer science and I just finished my final year and I am from Luton.
Thank you, Jesse. We're also joined by Jasmine.
Hi, my name's Jasmine. I'm studying medicine. I've currently just finished my 5th year. I'm into collating at the moment and I'm from Warwickshire area near Nuneaton.
Thank you. And finally, we also have Marguerite.
Yeah, so I did chemistry, just finished my final year and I'm from Leicester, so I stayed home.
Brilliant, thank you. Thank you all three of you joining. It is now the end of term, so it's great that you're still able to join us. So I've got a few questions that I'll be asking our students, but also you can use the chat function on Teams, so you can ask questions as well. I have the questions coming through live, so if you do have any pressing questions, particularly for our students, or indeed if you've got any questions for me as a member of university staff, I'm here on hand to answer those questions as well. I will do a bit of an overview about some of the things that you need to be doing in terms of your next steps before results day and also applying to the university. But without further ado, I think it's important to think about getting ready for life at the university. We've got a few questions for our students on what they did to prepare for time at the university. So thinking back a few years ago, when you finished your exams, you finished your A-levels, you finished whatever qualifications you were taking, Jesse, what was the first thing that you started doing after you finished your exams to prepare for university?
So the first thing I did was I first wanted to know what I needed to bring to university. Luckily, I did have older brothers that did go to university, so they did help me a lot. However, I did also email the university to see if they could provide any help with that, and they did send me a list of all the things I needed to bring for my accommodation and all stuff I needed for my lectures, notepads, potential laptops. And then one other thing I started doing was just working, making sure I had enough money so that I could literally just be living free in university. So yeah.
Right, so what was so you finished your exams, did you get a part-time job, a full-time job, a summer job?
So I got a summer job. I worked at the airport, not really the best of places to be working, high-paced environment. But yeah, worked there for about 3 months. And yeah, that was quite fun. So yeah.
Great, setting yourself up ready for when you start university. Yeah. And Jasmine, so when you finished your exams, getting ready for medical school, was there anything in particular you did between then and starting?
Honestly, I made sure that I had a really good summer and just took a break because A-levels is a very, very intense period and it was very needed. But in terms of getting started with uni, again, it was Uni of Leicester publishes a packing list to go by, and a couple of other unis do as well, and they're just freely available online. So it was just having a brief glance through that, seeing if there's anything that I wanted to go and do a shopping trip with my mum to go and find. And then there's some group chats as well set up. So I know the medical school one had so for me it was 2021 entry WhatsApp group chat, and everyone would sort of just talk on there, and you get a chance to sort of get to know some people, maybe some people from your home area or people who are living in the same accommodation as you, and it was a good chance to just see who might be potential friends coming into uni and just have a feel for what that would be like.
I think that's really good advice, actually, Jasmine. When in thinking about meeting your future friends, you should have received an invitation. Every offer holder from the University of Leicester should have received an invitation to our Unibuddy community. In there, you can join a variety of groups and spaces based on accommodation, based on your course. If you're travelling from a certain place, or indeed you can set up your own groups and spaces as well. I'd really recommend joining that group because, as Jasmine said, it's a really good place for you to meet your future friends. You don't necessarily have to stay on there and chat on the platform forever. We see lots of people setting up WhatsApp groups or adding each other on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever. So it's a really good place to do. If you haven't joined that Unibuddy community, I'd really recommend you do that because you never know who you might meet on there. You might still be there. You might meet your friends when you do eventually start. Now, Marguerite, how about you? When you finished your exams, what did you do between then and starting university?
Well, firstly, I watched all the movies and TV shows that I put on hold from studying, so I did that out of the way first. And then, just like enjoying summer. I got a part-time job as well, because it's like a really nice long summer, so I wanted to like work, get as much money as I could. And then actually, you kind of really touched on it. I used Unibuddy, but yes, you got the community where you can meet other students. I mean, you were in your situation, but I reached out to current chemistry students on there because I wanted to be fully prepared as possible. Things like lab coats or goggles, and just find out that the university provided them was great. Even their advice, for example, do I need an iPad or can I just use pen and paper? I use that to speak to students. So yeah, I did.
I think what is clear is there's a real mix of different ways on how you could be preparing. Some of that is the more practical things, getting your list of things you need to buy. Do you need to buy a duvet? Do you need to buy an air fryer? All the different things that you need to do. But also, as Jessie was saying, working in order to kind of get prepared to pay for your time whilst you're at university. But also, Jasmine and Marguerite made a really good point as well. This is a really good opportunity for you to take a break. You've been studying for however many years at school, sixth form, college. Do remember to take a break and remind yourself that you've done really well to get to this point. So I think that's an important reminder as well. So do take that break and do relax. Do catch up on the films and TVs shows that you've missed. That's absolutely a great idea. So thank you for your input on those. So when it comes to thinking about the life skills that's required for the university, were there any life skills that you think were really important to know before coming to university? For me, I was terrible at washing. I went into the laundrette in the Oadby Student Village and I did not know what to do. I remember having to call my mum whilst trying to do it at the same time and like, what do I use conditioner for and softener and things like that. Are there any particular life skills that you think are really important that you feel that you've been able to use during your time at the university? And Jasmine, I'll come to you. Is there anything particularly?
I mean, cooking is always a big one. Over the summer, obviously, hopefully you've got some free time, whether you are doing a part-time job or whatever you're planning to do for the summer. Ask your parents or someone who you know can cook a few things and just ask to learn a few recipes. I think it's a massive lifesaver because there's people who order food a lot in the first year of uni and money runs out. It's expensive. So obviously sometimes go out for dinners, like ordering food. It's a lot of fun, it's part of the experience, but learn a couple of go-to meals so that you've always got something to.
What's your go-to?
Cook. Probably like a spaghetti bolognese.
Nice.
Or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really simple. It's really easy to meal prep. You can have like 5 portions ready. And I know it can be boring to eat it day after day, but you can put it in the freezer and whatever.
Get that batch cooking in. It's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And Jessie, any life skills that you've?
You know what? Like, shopping. Yeah. I've never, like, obviously when I was younger, I went shopping with my parents and stuff like that. But then when coming to like university, first time I went shopping, I thought I was like like a kid in a candy store, seeing one product after another, and then so just knowing what to buy specifically that could last me like for the week, and then even budgeting, like knowing how much a week I should be spending on shopping roughly. So yeah, like the first time I did my like weekly shopping, that was a real like, yeah.
It's eye-opening, and then you realise, that's how much?
Yeah.
And do you have a go-to signature dish when you're cooking?
To be fair, like just tortilla wraps, chicken, No salad.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
No, brilliant. And Marguerite, any life skills that you would consider?
I would say I'd put it to like time management and like multitasking. I know it's more like one of those transferable skills that you kind of always talk about, but I feel there's a lot going on with university. Obviously, you've got societies where you make a lot of your friends, you've got a lot in your course, and even like me, yes, I stayed in Leicester, but my sixth form was like a 10-minute walk from my house. So even factoring in like travelling into university, your day's not always the same. Yeah, just kind of learning how to like manage everything. And I feel like things like a part-time job, if you've got different things you can juggle in the summer, just gets you in that mindset of, okay, like, you've got to multitask when you come to uni.
Have you got a top tip for your multitasking?
Yeah, be organised.
Yeah.
My calendar looks crazy to somebody else, but I've colour coded it and everything like works for me, so I know when to do things like different times and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely get a really organised calendar. If you're a writing person, get a journal. If you're like me, have it on your phone. Yeah.
Really good advice. And actually, when you do come to university, you do start realising are having to juggle more than you are expected. As Margaret was saying, you might have a commute to university. Even if you're in accommodation near Leicester, you might need to get a bus. You will have your lectures, your seminars, tutorials. But aside from that, if you're joining, as Marguerite said, we've got 250 student groups, clubs and societies. If you're joining those, going to events or get involved with training or practice for sport, there's loads of things that you can do to really immerse yourself in the time. So it's really important that you are thinking, particularly when those exams and coursework start kicking in, you want to make sure that you're as prepared as possible and do what works for you. And clearly Marguerite has a exceptional calendar with lots of colour coordinating. So find out what works for you and really lean into that. Now, did you do anything over the summer that made you feel kind of more prepared or more independent? So Jessie, you talked about you started working at Luton Airport. Mm-hmm. Was there any part of that made you feel particularly independent or prepared for university?
I think just I would say knowing, because obviously I've never worked before, so it was like my first time. So just having the responsibility of like making sure I'm providing the best customer service to people at the airport, and just making sure they're having like the best like time. They're making sure I'm submitting like my timesheets on time. It just goes back to being like responsible and disciplined, pretty much.
I suppose, like you said earlier, it's a fast pace as well, so that's going to prepare you for if university life gets fast paced as well.
Yeah.
And Jasmine, is there anything that helped you become more independent already for university?
Yeah, I'd say so. I took on sort of a caring role for a family member during that summer, and I did a lot of independent travel that summer. So I was taking trains to London and stuff by myself from home, so like from Nuneaton. So it's like an hour or so on the train and a short walk. Like for me, that was quite new. I hadn't really done travel independently, and I think it was good because it meant getting the train then to Leicester in first year was really simple. That was the main one, and then like just going and seeing friends again and the travel aspect of it, because I've always been used to sort of commuting a bit further. My friends, like school wasn't really that close to home, so yeah.
And I suppose that travelling aspect is something that's continued into your medicine degree as well. Can you talk us a bit about how you travel into different placements and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, luckily from second year I got a car, so I've been driving to placements. But obviously, there's lots of people who don't have a car. You are able to commute to placements by train or by bus, and you do get some reimbursement as well for travel, which is really good. But if you do happen to have the time and the money for it, you could learn to drive this summer. It's an invaluable skill. Use the time to just, I mean, if it's a long journey for you coming to Leicester, maybe just give that trip a try, maybe with a family member or something, and just see how it goes. Get used to the journey. Definitely
a good idea. Now, segueing into placements. Now, Marguerite, you did a year in industry placement year. Can you tell us a bit about that and what you've learned about yourself and independence from doing that?
Yeah, for sure. So, really fortunate that I was able to get into a placement year. A lot of our courses do offer the option to take that extra year out. And for me, it was a really big thing because I came into university wanting to take my career in a certain direction, and then came here, and the beautiful thing is, there's so many opportunities shown in front of you, different ways that you can take your degree subject more than you would have even thought before. But then it was like, whoa, there's a lot of options, what do I do? And I found that I liked a lot of stuff, which isn't a bad thing when you're trying to almost like map out a career. Where do you kind of go with that? So the placement year really allowed me to, one, get experience, because employers are always saying they want experience, but also see, okay, this direction that I can or can't take my career in. So that was really good. In terms of, that was my first time moving out for the first time. So I, again, lived in Leicester, chose to stay here for uni, and I really, I thought I was quite a mature person, which I still think I am, but definitely that placement year helped me grow up a lot more. You're juggling bills, shopping, budgeting, as like everyone's pretty much mentioned, travelling as well. I had to commute into my workplace because I didn't live in the city of where my placement was. And overall, I learned a lot about myself in terms of just like how, career-wise, like where I want to go with my career, but also like navigating life and like this adulthood that we're in, this like weird stage that we're in, like you finish in school, but then you're becoming an adult. But also mainly, I like quite the working world, that kind of like structure. And even though for me, I wasn't a 9 to 5, I was more of a shift pattern, but I had a structure every day at work, even though every day was different. And then I applied that to uni. So now I felt like in my final year when I was studying, I know that I'm better in the morning compared to the evenings. I know, okay, do a couple hours, take a break here, and almost created a work day for my uni timetable. And that helped me, like, helped the year just go by so much quicker, but also be a bit more focused in terms of like my studying and stuff.
I think that's such a really good bit of advice actually about treating uni as like a work day. Some of you may have contact hours of maybe 6, 7, 8 hours a week, but actually how you make the best of your time at the university is how you fill the rest of that. So if you consider your time at university a bit like a 9 to 5, as Margaret was saying, what are you doing? Are you following up on some of your seminar notes? Are you going back over some work that you've done? Are you writing an essay or an assignment or something? So really do think of it when it comes to university. Now, obviously, some courses you may be in labs for many hours a week, or in some you might be in lectures or seminars. So it really does depend on the course. So have a think about how you can structure your time at university and think about how you can plan your days effectively as well. So in terms of university accommodation, at the University of Leicester, we have a number of choices that you can do. You could perhaps be like Marguerite, where you could commute and live at home, and we know that lots and lots of students choose to do that every year. If you are moving further afield, or even if you do live close by and you want to live in university accommodation, we have a couple of options available as well. So we've got our Oadby Village. This is where I was in my first year of university. I was in one of the big Edwardian halls, big Edwardian houses with 20 other guys. Lots of fun. Still met lots of my friends there as well. That's around a 15-minute bus ride away from the main university campus. Buses are very regular, they're free, but Oadby itself is a really nice green part of Leicester. They've got the Botanic Gardens there, so if you are looking to kind of separate your studying and your living time, it's a really good option. The other option we do have is our city living accommodation, about a 5 minutes walk from our main campus, and indeed a stone's throw from some of our bigger lecture theatres in the Suburb Burgess building at the university. They are a bit closer. We do have a range of accommodation to suit all budgets, ranging from £72 per week upwards as well. We have a range of ensuite rooms, shared flats, studio apartments. We do try and cater for everybody. Now, when you put Leicester as your firm choice, it's at that point you can apply for your accommodation. So as soon as you have your University of Leicester student number, that is when you can apply for accommodation and make your choices. So if you have if Leicester is your first choice, you are able to do that. For those of you that Leicester might be your insurance choice, or indeed if you end up coming to Leicester through clearing, you'd be able to apply for that after results day once your place is confirmed at the University of Leicester. Now, a really great thing about the university is that we guarantee accommodation for all first year students as long as you apply by the 1st of September. So if you are thinking about moving into university accommodation, university managed accommodation, do make sure that you apply by that 1st of September deadline, and do come and see us as well. We will be hosting a accommodation open house after results day, the weekend after results day, so on the 15th of August. So please do come and visit if you do want to have a look around some of our accommodation. So a bit more about, so Jasmine and Jessie, you both moved into accommodation. Taking you back a few years, Jasmine, you're a bit further away as you're in your 5th year at the moment. Take us back to your move-in day. What do you remember most from your move-in day?
So for me, being a medic, we have a separate intro week. So we move in a week earlier than everyone else. But what's great is that all the medics move in a week earlier. And that meant that, so I lived in the village, I lived in the pavilions, and it meant I could see sort of who was living where, who was moving in. So I knew that there were at least 5 of us within my sort of block, and the one other girl in my flat who were medics. So the main thing for me was sort of getting to know other people. It was obvious from the get-go that there were a few people that I could meet easily. We did all sort of chat that first day, and then it meant that I had people to go to events with later on that week. Move-in, luckily, so you can organise move-in to be slightly earlier depending on when your sort of family is free to help you out. So I did move in sort of not in the move-in weekend, but a few days before that. So my stuff was all there. But then when I arrived and everyone else was moving in, I got to sort of have a chance to chat with other people and just get to know some people and walk around and just see what was happening, really. They have older students around as well. So yeah, it was a really good experience.
You got the residential advisors to help you move in, did you?
Yeah.
Excellent. And Jessie, was it similar for you when you moved in?
Yeah, it's quite similar actually. There was like signs and like postage everywhere around. So we knew where to park. And then we had to go into the village reception to collect our keys, and that's where we found out our rooms. Mm-hmm. And I just remember walking in because I was the last person to in my flat to like actually arrive. So I walked in, and then everyone was like, "Oh, the final guys come in," and like they were already like playing like card games in the kitchen and stuff like that. So yeah, the residential advisors and then myself and my family, obviously. We like moved into my room. It was quite emotional, like saying bye to my mum, because it's the first time I'm like living by myself. And yeah, for everyone was lovely, everyone's friendly, and I think one advice I would put out there is like everyone is kind of in the same situation as you. Everyone wants to socialize, make new friends, so definitely put yourself out there. You're not going to be shamed for it. And yeah, like that first night I slept, that's when it hit me. Yeah, but yeah, no, it was like a simple move-in. So.
I think that's such a really valid point that you made there about everybody is really just trying to make new friends. Everybody's in the same boat. You'll probably get quite tired of us answering the same questions of your name, where you're from, what you're studying. You probably answer that about 60 times in the first day. But it is a really important note to remember that everyone is trying to make friends, and so put yourself out there is a great idea. In my house, someone had like made cakes and just said, right, help yourself to everyone, which is a really nice thing to do. I took a crate of drinks and said, help yourself to one. It's like whatever you've got to do to make yourself kind of make friends, and I think remember that everyone's in the same boat.
No, literally.
So Margaret, we talked about you commuting to university. Were you still able to feel that you were able to get involved with, even though you weren't necessarily in the university accommodation, did you feel still involved with the university, even though you weren't necessarily staying?
Yeah, for sure. I feel obviously naturally at first everyone who's in accommodation has that immediate group of friends that they're living with, but there's so many options and opportunities to make friends the other way. And because I was staying home, I knew, right, I've got to make an extra effort to make sure I do make friends. So obviously you've got your course, then the hundreds of societies that you mentioned in clubs. So for me it was going to Give It a Go sessions, which are during that Freshers Week. You can just go to different societies for free and do a fun session, and then if you like it you can stay, commit. You don't have to. A lot of the time I would go find 2 friends and then leave, and then we'd do our own thing, so that was really good. Also as well, there's so many facilities on campus, so I didn't have to go home and like come back between lectures. I would like go to the library. Obviously we've got the gym, we've got our campus kitchen, so different opportunities like to meet friends that way. So I didn't feel like at all that I was almost isolated or not having this university experience. And I always say that everyone's experience is their own, so I'm never going to know the feeling of like moving in for the first time and having all your friends playing cards, for example, but I know the feeling of going to society and I was the only person. For me it was tennis club. I went to OB where we have our tennis courts, and I was like, the only person left with so many friends, and would go back to regular sessions. So that's my experience. But yeah, definitely not on your own. There's so many opportunities to meet people and feel integrated.
I think that's such a valid point. I work with so many graduates every year, and each one of them will have a different pull back to the university. Some will say, oh yeah, my best mates are from university accommodation. Many will say, oh, it's my course. They're the ones that remind me of the university. Many will say, oh, I was in the tennis club. Some will say, oh, they're the people that I would go to library cafe with. And there's different pulls for different things. So your experience doesn't matter. You're going to make friends, and you're going to find your people wherever you go, which is a really, really good point. Coming back to the accommodation side of things, Jasmine, what surprised you most about living with other students?
I think, everyone's really different. Everyone comes from, so at home people will have different responsibilities that they're used to having, and then coming to university and then taking those responsibilities. It's really important, I think, to lay out some ground rules with other flatmates, and a checklist. People like to do like a checklist for whose turn it is to do bin bags, or whose turn it is to clean the surfaces in the kitchen or something, vacuuming, and I think that's really important to lay out relatively early. Obviously have a feel for it. You don't want to get into like an argument early on, but yeah, so some people will be cleaner than others. Some people will be louder or have more social events going on than others. So it's really just maybe using the first week or two to just get to know what your flatmates are like. I was really lucky. I had a really good experience. My flatmates were quite quiet. They were really fun to talk to, and just would hang out in the kitchen regularly, so we would talk. And they weren't dirty either, but I've heard some horror stories from other students. So just have that chat. It can be an awkward one the first time, but lay out some rules, and I think it just changes everything.
It's always easy to do at the start rather than when you're 4 months into living with someone.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
A very, very good piece of advice. And how about you, Jesse? Anything that surprised you about living with other people?
It's pretty similar, like the same things, just making sure you have that like foundational chat with people to make sure like responsibilities are being met. I would say also like not everyone is like you. Sometimes people would just not come out of their rooms. You might just have to get used to that. But yeah, like pretty much the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah, it is so different. But bear in mind, I was in a big house of 20 different guys, and I was like, well, that room is the quiet room. That's the noisy corridor lying down there. And you kind of get into a bit of a rhythm. I think you start to realise, and actually start to realise who your true friends are off the back of that. And I'm sure, and Jasmine, you said you've had some really fun people. I'm guessing you're still friends with them now and beyond as well. So we talked a bit about managing money, doing work as well. Obviously, some people come to university or go into university full stop. This will be the first time you've had to pay bills or manage your money. You got your student loan going in. Is there any kind of top tips that you would also, Marguerite? Is there any top tips on managing money and your kind of student loan?
When your student loan comes, you get a lot of money right in one big sum, so it feels like, whoa, you've got a lot. So let's take a moment to be like, whoa, because like I know people who splash the cash, spend loads. Also, don't be understand that some shops and brands out there, they know you get student finance, they know when it's coming, so there could be a huge deal somewhere, and then you end up spending a lot of your money, then realise for the rest of the few months you've got a little bit left. So use things like discounts, like uni days are really good. Wave your student card everywhere and get those discounts, but also be mindful, like, yes, it's a lot of money, don't almost like spend it all at one place in one go. Was my thing, because I found, whoa, that's a lot of money, especially yes, okay, I didn't have to pay bills living at home, but I spent a lot of money unnecessarily on like clothes that I actually didn't need to get.
It's very exciting when you suddenly see a big lump sum go into your bank account, possibly for so many people the first time ever seeing that amount of money go into. So I think, yeah, do take a breath and have a think before you splash the cash, for sure. And Jasmine, how about you? Do you have any kind of top budgeting tips?
I actually invested any money that I didn't spend every year just into like a savings account, but I think that's really good. I mean, I was lucky to get full student finance, so obviously one day you'll have to pay it back, but it's just nice to think that at least for now, if I need to get some money out, I've got a little bit extra. For me, like you said, it was my first time having such a large amount of money, and I was needing to be independent as well. Like I sort of knew that I wasn't going to be asking my parents for money or anything. So it's very much just being like, well, setting aside, well, this amount is for rent, so I definitely can't spend anywhere near that amount, and this amount is set aside for, you know, what Jessie was talking about earlier, like having a budget for your shopping and things like that. And then, yes, there's still lots of money left over, and it's then thinking, well, do I actually need to spend all of that? And most of the time the answer is no. But it is really fun to have money for the first time, and I feel like everyone does do a few unnecessary purchases, and I think that's just part of the experience. But once you realise, I think then it sort of hits, and it's nice to also know that you've saved lots of money, and I think a lot of people have a lot of fun doing that too, so there's both sides of it, I guess.
Definitely. And actually you made a really good point about make sure you pay your fixed costs to start with, your rent, if you are living, not living in university accommodation, your bills, etc., move that aside. And then what I would do is I would count down like how long until the next instalment of my student loan, and then kind of divide it up into how many weeks I've got left. I think it's fair to say there are plenty of scholarships, bursaries, grants available as well for those that are panicking a little bit on thinking, am I going to have enough money? Some really good websites to go on are the scholarship.hub.org.uk. Lots of grants, monies, bursaries for people that you may be eligible for, sometimes based on your postcode, sometimes based on where you live, based on your course. Black Bullion is a really good website as well. It's helping you with budgeting when you are a student as well, so really do think about that. If anyone, the university doesn't want to let people fall through the cracks either, so if anyone is struggling with financially, you can talk to student services, and they can help you with budgeting. There may be hardship grants for students that are eligible for those as well. When I was in my final year at the university, I was struggling to pay my rent. I was very deep in my overdraft and couldn't just call up and ask for some more money. So actually I was able to get an £800 hardship grant when I was a student, and that meant I could finish my course. So I think it's fair to say the university will not let you fall through the cracks because of money. Jessie, you talked about having a summer job, and did you continue? Can you talk a bit about your part-time work at university as well?
Yeah, so at university I probably have about like 5-6 jobs, but like they're all kind of like part-time. So when I first joined the university, I heard about the ambassador scheme through our uni temps website, and I applied. So I applied through uni temps, and I got the role, and it's given me so many opportunities. I help out with open days, campus tours, school visits, being like a summer school mentor, and through that scheme it's allowed me to win an award for the university actually, which I'm so grateful for. So yeah, I also work part-time at the Leicester Rugby Stadium and the King Power Stadium as well. So yeah, like there's a lot of fun shifts that happen there as well.
I think, yeah, if you are thinking about getting a part-time job at the university, it's worth considering your academic commitments, because remember, you're coming to university to get a degree, but we always recognise that some students will need to work part-time. I myself was student ambassador as well. I also worked in retail in the city centre. So do think about, if you've got a job in a particular part of the country that you're working with, can you transfer to a branch if it's a national chain in Leicester? Think about the ambassador scheme as well, so working for the university. Remember, the university has lots of other jobs potentially available as well. We have cafes, coffee shops, restaurants, so do think about what could be available, and start thinking ahead, looking at those vacancies, but as Jessie was saying, before you come to university as well. Now when it comes to we're talking about our essentials and things that we don't necessarily need to buy. We sometimes might make a splurge. When I came to university, everyone bought a George Foreman grill. What's the one thing that you would recommend that you need to purchase for university, and what's one thing that you've bought that you think, I didn't need that? Marguerite, I'll come to you first of all. Is there anything that you've bought that's really helped you in any part of your university degree, and is there anything that you've thought, I didn't need that?
So I've always been at sixth form and even at GCSEs, I like a pen and paper kind of person. So I had notebooks for every single module that chemistry had. So that was really helpful for me. I know others bought iPads, but for me, like, that was probably like my best purchase is, okay, this notebook is for this particular module. And it also had like the holes, so I could buy the treasury tags, any printing could go in there. So that was like my best thing. And then something that I didn't need to get, it was a bunch of clothes. I just bought I just bought a lot of clothes that I just didn't need, and yeah, that's probably my thing.
That's fine. You won't be the first or last person to say that. And Jasmine, anything? What's the one thing that you've bought that's been really useful at your time?
I was just lucky that I think in the middle of second year, my mum got me a new laptop. That was incredible. I was using like an old one that I'd been loaned from school, like back in COVID and stuff. So that was amazing. I don't think I bought anything crazy, but I knew. So one of my friends brought a printer to university in first year, and they've just never opened it. That's never ever been used. And I just think it's funny because no one prints anything at the moment. I mean, if you want to, you can come to university and obviously use your credits and print some stuff out. But at least for medicine anyway, none of us. Everything's accessible online. You literally don't need to print out anything.
I remember conning my mum in to buy me a printer, and then it just did not get used at all. So definitely good advice. Jessie, how about you?
I think for me, the most useful thing I've bought that I consistently use is a rice cooker. Yeah. And then something that I've bought that at first I did use, but now I don't use like anymore, was probably like at the start of my first year I bought like a PS4, and like now I look at it every time I go home and it's just sitting there and it's like, oh, I'm not even motivated to play. Yeah.
No regrets. I mean, in my house we definitely had a few PS4 tournaments as well, so it could be a potential good purchase for some people. So. So thinking ahead to results day, we've talked a bit about coming to university, some tips on ahead of coming to university. On results day, we at the university will receive your grades on the Friday before A-level results day. So before the 13th of August, we will receive your grades, and it's at that point we will start to look at your grades to see whether or not you have met the conditions for your course. If you've met the conditions, great, you'll be accepted, and if Leicester is your firm choice, you'll be coming to university. If you've missed your firm choice university and elsewhere, you would come to university as an insurance. If you've just missed some grades, what we would do is we would look at other courses that might meet your the criteria of the grades that you've received, Or alternatively, we might start to look at some of, we have got lots of foundation programs where we might consider moving on to a foundation program. So it means that ultimately you still get to come to the University of Leicester. So if you don't meet the grades that you are predicted or hoping for, don't panic. Just call us on results day if you've found out things haven't gone the way you planned. We will try our best to help you into something that works right for you. You're able to log into the UCAS hub at 8 a.m. on that results day, but before then, the university are not allowed to confirm either in writing or on the phone whether you've got into university. So don't try ringing because we're not allowed to tell you. But on results day, if you do want to get in touch with the university, you can call us on 0116 373 6000 and we will be able to talk through your options as well. Alternatively, if you have changed your mind, you were planning to go to another university as your firm choice, you can call us up and there's a chance that we can get you released into clearing and a course for you at the university as well. So bear these things in mind. Think about your results day plan. Where are you going to be? Are you going to be in the country? Do you need to go into school? Are school or sixth form or college releasing your grades online? Think about your logistics of the day, but remember you can log in at 8 o'clock on results day morning. There is support available from all of us here at the university, so do give us a call. If you need any reassurance beforehand, do email us at study@le.ac.uk and we will be on hand to support you with any queries or questions you may have. So, leading up to results day, how were you feeling? How were you managing stress or nerves? Jesse, were you feeling particularly nervous ahead of results day?
Yeah, I was very nervous. I remember just constantly praying, hoping I would get the grades that I would get, and then also like just speaking to my family a lot because they would reassure me, which did help me quite a bit.
Great. And Jasmine, how were you feeling before results day?
I honestly don't remember it. It was a while ago, but I was probably quite nervous. I think they were doing an online release of grades at that point. Yeah, I know some people like struggle to sleep the night before and things like that. It's just, using your support system, like Jessie said, and talking to people, and also just trying to get your mind off it and doing other things. Stay busy, not with anything like important, just doing fun things with other people and get your mind off it. Because, regardless of what your results end up being, there's always a route for you, whether that is us helping you find a spot at the university and working out slight change of course or anything like that, or whether it is sort of what you wanted and everything, but it'll all work out in the end.
That's definitely good life advice for everything. Margaret, how are you feeling leading up to results day?
Well, I put results in on the two parts, in the sense of obviously there's the grades part and then there's getting to the uni. So my part was like I was to make sure I get into uni. I get the busy route, so I made sure all summer I turned my part-time job into a full-time job, doing like 40 hours a week, like a normal a working adult would do, to really distract myself and really not think about it. And I was doing well until the day before, and then it hit me and it was like, tomorrow's the day you're gonna find out. And I don't know if you can still do this, but you sit in a queue, so in the morning it will like, sit on your phone waiting, and then it like will flicker, and then you find out if you got in or not. So I think the day before, definitely you're like, oh my gosh. So I'd say keep yourself busy. I'm not saying now do a full-time job, but keep yourself busy, keep distracted. The day before, I think the one thing that helped me get through is like it's done, and also the research as well. So attending something like this today is really helpful. Knowing that clearing's an option, knowing there's other ways to still get into university, helped me. And then that morning of when it's just UCAS got it, all that kind of worries went away. I think I got in and just fell to the floor and started crying. So I was really happy. But the day before it's just do your prep now, because that will, I think, if you're like me, that gives you encouragement that you'll be okay.
I think that's really good advice. Doing your prep now. Make a short list of, if things don't go the way you planned, make a short list of universities or cities or places in the UK or even abroad that you would consider living in. Write down, make sure you revisit your original 5 university choices as well, the ones that you had to decline as well, because if things don't go the way you planned, you don't get into your firm your insurance choice, it's always worth ringing the university that perhaps had declined you, or you'd declined originally. Clearing is officially open now as of July the 2nd. So some universities are starting to list where they have vacancies. So start a bit of a list, a just in case list of where you might consider to study if things don't go the way you planned. Things often don't go the way they planned. Leicester was in fact my insurance choice at the university. I'm very glad that I missed out on a grade just by a few points, because it changed my life, and as we said earlier, everything turns out fine. Jesse, Leicester wasn't your first choice. Can you talk us a bit about what happened on results day from your perspective?
Yeah, so Leicester was my insurance choice. On results day, so I'm just not actually reimagining it. I just remember getting an unconditional offer from the University of Leicester, and I was like, okay, cool. What about my firm choice? So I then logged into UCAS and saw that I didn't get into my firm choice. So then I was like, oh, okay. So then I logged into my college system to see my grades, and I didn't get the grades that was needed. And like, I think what Marguerite said about doing your research first is very important, because I didn't even know what clearing was. So people were telling me, oh, like, here's this number, call. And I was just thinking, what are you talking about? So yeah, like, I remember, like, I was upset, but I was trying not to show it. And it was a thing where, like, my friend even booked my accommodation for me. But I got into the foundation year, because like I said, my grades wasn't good enough. And I had I was thinking of doing the foundation year and then transferring to another university after. But like, now I look at it and I'm like, thank God I did not get my grades. Definitely do your research, because that would help in terms of like looking at different universities. Don't do a me, is what I'll say. Yeah, don't do a me.
As my mum would say, everything happens for a reason. And actually, you're the perfect example of what I was just saying, that we try and make an alternative for you if you've just missed the grades for whatever reason. We know that life happens. If when it comes to our confirmation period before results day, we will go back to your personal statement, we'll go back to your reference, we will look at you as an overall student rather than just looking at your grades. And if you've just missed out on your grades by whatever, we'll look at your personal statement. We'll see, are you passionate and enthusiastic to be a student at the university as well. So we have had a couple of other questions coming in on the live chat as well. So if anyone does have any more questions for any of the students on the call today, please do send them on there. We've had a question asking, what is Leicester the city like? What sort of things are there to do? I'll come to the Leicester local first of all. Margaret, what do you usually recommend to people do in the city?
Well, we've got your usual, we've got your cinemas, your shops, your mini golf, but what I really like about Leicester is there's always something new happening. So we've got a Riverside Festival, there's like fun fairs, World Cup's happening right now, and there's a part in Leicester, and they've like, I don't even know how to describe it, it's really pretty. So there's like picnic benches, a big screen, everyone's watching the game together, and I think, you know, being Leicester local like that for the community is amazing. Usually there at winter as well, we have like the Ferris wheel and ice skating, so there's always like little things going on. We've got art festivals and they teach you how to do like street art, so that's my best thing, is like the little random pop-ups that happen. And also, this is a really big deal for me, we just got a Wingstop, which is huge, so no more travelling to Birmingham or Nottingham. If you're a Wingstop fan, you will know. But yeah, we've got the classics, and then the little pop-ups is for me what really makes Leicester.
I did not know the Wingstop had just opened here, so I'm taking Marguerite's advice and going there ASAP. Jasmine, what would you say that Leicester's like as a city?
For me, I'm like a massive foodie, so there's a new spot opening in Leicester so often. I'll see there's Visit Leicester Instagram pages and things like that, and they did a post recently where it was like 5 different new places, and I love trying new places, especially love like the Asian food scene in Leicester. It's incredible. So I have like my go-to spots for food, but I love trying a new place, and there's like so much good food in Leicester. Like for me, like Southeast Asian background, like there's lots of that type of food, but there's just such a good variety. And in terms of that as well, like what Marguerite was saying, like there's so many like different like events happening as well that are related to sort of culture and things like that, which is also really cool.
Do you have a go-to restaurant?
Yeah, Mitsuki on London Road.
Oh.
Japanese food is incredible.
Something else I need to add to the list as well. Thank you. And Jesse, how about you for the city? What do you usually recommend?
I mean, so the city has a lot of things. Like Marguerite said, bowling, golf, and the food spots. Like there's so like the diversity is insane. We've got the shopping mall as well. We've got a lot of shops in there. It's quite big as well, and we've also got, I think it's called the High Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, High Cross. So High Cross, and then there's the other one.
Foss Park.
Yeah, Foss Park. That's it, Foss Park. Like so many shops, so many brands. Like, I would recommend it. I would say my favourite spot I've been to in Leicester is a place called Tropical Birdlands, and it's like some sort of like petting zoo. Like I had like birds on my shoulders and stuff like that, which was so fun. Leicester's a lively place.
If you were to ask me what is Jesse going to say his favourite place, Tropical Birdland was not going to be somewhere I take my kids, and they absolutely love it as well.
I had a pet pigeon.
What a great fact. so there's loads to do, and for me as well, like moving to Leicester and finding so many places to get food, so many good like curry places. I love a place called Sonrisa, which is like Argentinian tapas in town, really good. There's just some really good food places. Maurizio's Pizza, amazing as well. So loads to do in the city. When it comes to student groups, societies, clubs, sports, Marguerite, you mentioned you joined the tennis club. Are you part of any other societies as well?
Yeah, so in my second year I was president of Chemistry Society. For me, like anyone who's on like the leadership team of society will know like the work that comes with it. You're leading people, you're organising events, you're a student putting on events for other students. I think a lot of transferable skills do come from that, and it's definitely helped me in the workplace. And then also, a lot of like random pop-ups. I'll go to like science ones, like Women in STEM. I went to a like juice, like the society basically just like go around different like places and like just drink different like pot juices and stuff. Again, we went there for one event, met a couple of friends, and then I kind of left. But lots of different things to get involved with. I did a lot of give it a goes, and then if I was busy, just didn't go. But yeah, lots. One as well, something that I wish I did, I found out recently, is a salsa society. I think just to know there's a lot going on. You'll never do all of it, but knowing that you're endless options, and you can always start your own as well. I've got a friend who started a choir here, so
nice.
Yeah, lots to see.
A really good point that if there's something that you're into and it doesn't exist as a student group or society, if you've got a few friends, you can set up your own society. So a really, really good piece of advice there from Marguerite. Jasmine, are you part of any societies or groups?
So in my first 2 years, I did the university cheer. So I was part of cheer. I coached it in my second year. So that was really fun. It was good to be part of like a uni level society, do like competitions and stuff like that as well. But then in the later years, and still in first and second year too, I joined sort of the more medic societies just because that worked better around my sort of timetable and everything. So medics have their own sports, and they have lots of societies as well. So for sort of the generic sports like football, netball, basketball, and they've even done some new ones. They've got climbing now as well, and they've got their own medics cheer now as well actually. So it's a really good opportunity to be part of a community with like-minded people, obviously who like the same stuff, and also manage to fit it around your busy schedule. So I think they allow all healthcare students now to join, which is really good.
That's good.
Because obviously all healthcare students have such an insane schedule, with like placements and everything, and some students have to do like late evening shifts and whatever. I did some uni societies in first year, second year, and then moved on. But it's been a really good experience. Yeah.
Great, brilliant. And Jesse, how about you? Have you joined any clubs and stuff?
So yeah, I've been a part of societies, but it's like I don't have like consistent attendance, which is like, again, like it happens, and that's what's great about societies anyways, because it's in your own time. I'm a part of like my church society, and that did help me build like my faith a lot throughout university, and it was like a place that I could always go to first if I was like struggling in like any adversity, for example. I like there was the ACS society. I've attended a couple events. They did like game shows, like was it a quiz? They did a quiz as well, debates. So that's been fun. I've also like I'm not even from Somalia, but I've been to like the Somali society, and that's been fun as well. So yeah.
It just shows there's so many things you can get involved with. I think when I was a student, I joined the Leicester Uni Theatre, I joined the Languages Society, I made up the Languages Exchange Society. There's so many things you can do and get involved with. We've just got enough time for one final question. If you could give one piece of advice to a new student joining Leicester this year, what would it be and why? I'll come to Jasmine first of all.
Ooh. So as someone who I would say is like, I'm quite quiet, shy, introverted person, first year can be difficult. You've got to really step out of your comfort zone, but try do it. I know it's easier said than done, but at least for the first few weeks, just try your best to really throw yourself out there, and be friendly, get to know people. It's the same spiel like Dan was saying before about, you know, hi, where are you from, what do you study? Like you repeat that same conversation a lot of times, but it's really worth it. And then you go back to being quite an introverted afterwards. But yeah, getting to know people and just being really open. You know, there might be people that you think, oh, in school I never would have been friends with them, but they become your like best friends at uni. It just happens that way. So yeah, try your best to be open and friendly. It really works out well.
Great advice for life, I feel. Marguerite, what's your one piece of advice?
My advice is to give yourself grace and like the room to be like, this is a new environment, right? For me, my sixth form was attached to my secondary school, so that's 7 years in one place where a lot of people knew me because I was part of like the leadership team, so organising events, I'm knocking on everyone's door, right? So now this big place where like people don't know me, I don't know them, even how you learn, I put too much pressure on myself that like, why aren't my techniques from A level not working at university? Learn, you know, you have the time, especially the first year, to really like learn how to study and revise and use the people around you, like the older students who have been through what you're going through. So almost be like, it's okay, you don't need to have this like perfect roadmap of how uni's meant to go and it needs to be this exact game plan. Just have fun, enjoy it, but give yourself the time to like, this is new and I'm going to learn. So that's my bit of advice.
Very good advice. Thank you. And finally, Jesse, what's your one piece of advice?
I would say like get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, try be as sociable as you can, and also know your roots, know where you come from, know who you represent, and yeah, just don't try do anything that is too much. And when I say too much is where like something that you wouldn't do that is extreme. Like still know where you're from, and like yeah, like I said, just know who you represent.
That's really nice advice. Yeah, thank you. A big thank you for joining us this afternoon. We hope this has given you a really good insight into life at Leicester, moving to Leicester, a bit of advice for A-level results day and what you should do during the summer. A big thank you to Jessie, Jasmine and Marguerite as well. It's been really great to hear your insight into your time at the university, and we're really grateful for you giving up. Even though it is we're out of term time now, so we're grateful that you gave up your time to do this today. So reminders that you need to think about for your next steps. If Leicester is your firm choice, make sure you are applying for accommodation if you are planning to live in university managed accommodation. Do not forget to do your student finance. You want to be doing that as soon as possible. You want to make sure that you are getting your student finance in at the start of term, so you want to be doing that as soon as possible. And then finally, I would recommend doing that plan that we talked about earlier. What is your just in case plan on results day? What do you do if things don't go the way you planned? Come up with a list of universities or options that you want to do if things don't go the way you've planned. But other than that, enjoy your summer. What we talked about at the very start of the session, make sure you enjoy your time. You've been studying a long, long time. You deserve a break. You deserve the grace to look after yourself, as Marguerite said. So do remember that. Enjoy your summer. But ultimately, if you are coming to University of Leicester, we cannot wait to welcome you here. We cannot wait to see you in September. Remember, the start of term is the 21st of September 2026. We can't wait to see you here. If you have asked a question and you haven't been able to get your question answered, please do contact us at study@le.ac.uk. We will do our very best to get your responses ASAP. Maybe even some of the students on the panel might be responding to your questions in that inbox as well. So that's it from us here at the university. We hope you have a great summer. Thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Take care.